Alright, so, a little buzzed. This is a studio director's letter. 2021 retrospective. So this is a letter from Matt Firor, who's the online, or sorry, the ZOS director, yeah. And this is his letter to all of us. It is the end of 2021. So it's time to look back and take stock of the year that was and look forward to 2022. We do this every year, but this year seems different than the others, even 2020, which was by every measure a difficult year in itself. Looking back, to jump to the conclusion first, we are approaching the end of a very successful but difficult year. As the pandemic grinds on, we are doing everything we can to keep ESO on the rails, give you new content, and keep all of us safe and healthy. Okay, but this has not been easy. Most of us have families, and for obvious reasons, we have prioritized the health and safety of our families, and ourselves above everything else. Yeah, that's good. The constant stress and anxiety caused by the realities of life during 2021 have taken a noticeable toll on us all. We are doing well. ESO is doing well. And we will move forward into 2022, but we are tired and anxious. And I believe everyone will join me in the sentiment that the thing we wish for the most in 2022 is for the world to return to normal. Here are some updates to the items we talked about during 2020. The ESO, EU, and NA data center hardware refresh is ongoing, but our timelines have been greatly extended by the global shortage of computer hardware. To give you all an idea of the impact, some key hardware devices are delayed by 1 year, most are delayed by 3 to 5 months. We had intended to have this process complete this year, but it's taken us far longer than we thought it would. This is as frustrating for you, us, as it is for you. Trust me, the progress has been made. So this is talking about their server replacement, their server hardware replacement. That was supposed to be finished by the end of this year, but as they said, there's a shortage of, honestly, there's like a shortage of everything at the moment. One of our goals for 2021 was to right the ship a bit when it came to major update launches. And with our focus on stability and better launches, we succeeded. The launches in 2020, especially Greymoor, were rough and resulted in far too much unexpected downtime. At least I acknowledge that. So even though there was always room for improvement, we're in a much better place now, since 2021's updates have launched far more smoothly. I will agree that this year's launches have been better than last year, but I don't think you can get any worse than last year. Last year was like Herald Storm, oh my lord. And I don't think the issue was downtime of server maintenance and shit like that. I think the issue last year was there just wasn't solutions until the next major patch, which is pretty bad. But anyway, the thing we are most proud of over the course of 2021 and 2020 is that we have given you all a safe virtual place. Well, safe. a little debatable to get away from the realities of the outside world. Even if only for an hour or two. Okay. So many have played ESO, including many millions for the first time ever over the last 2 years, and have found solace and peace in Tamriel when the events in Earth became overwhelming. Yeah, okay. The ultimate goal of any game like ESO is to make the virtual environment an alternative to daily life in the real world, even if only for a little while. Metaverse? Metaverse? In this, ESO excels, and we're very proud of what we have achieved. Even with all of the challenges, it was a good year for ESO. Millions of new players joined the game in 2021, and the game is as healthy and robust as ever. We introduced the world to Fargrave, a new Elder Scrolls universe, Daedric plane, and of course, to Aatrox the Mutilator, our nearly most beloved NPC since the game's original cast. Overall, our story of a Daedric invasion of Nirn was well done and well received by you. We had a lot of fun putting together a story with hints of Test 4 Oblivion, including parts of its original game map. We also debuted companion NPCs in ESO, which have proven to be a remarkably popular feature, and sits proudly in the group of solid systems we've added to the game over the years, like the Justice System, Assassinations, Arenas, Antiquities, just to name a few. Looking forward, and this is the important part. Looking ahead to 2022, we'll continue to do what we do best. Tell great stories and keep the ESO train running. Our content plans will be to back off major plots with end-of-the-world invasion themes for a bit, to tell a traditional Elder Scrolls story of political intrigue and factional infighting, concentrating on one of ESO's playable races that has not yet had a full cultural and historical deep dive. For more info, you have to wait for our traditional January reveal show. I'm glad they're backing up off of these year-long stories where you just try to save the world. You know what I mean? Like, how often can you save the world? I mean, it gets a little stale. You know what I mean? It's been 4 years of year-long expansion stories and lore that don't really actually affect anything else outside of the expansions and the next expansion, I guess, in a sense. But you know what I mean? And I think people were getting tired of that. I think they know. They're keeping an eye on it. So, I mean, I at least they know. So what does this mean? And also, like, they give a hint for the next chapter. One of ESO's playable races. Okay, so let's make a fucking notepad. If it comes up. We're gonna make a list of races they have not yet covered. Okay. So, immediately the first two races are out. Dunmer, Argonian, they're gone. Because we've had Murkmire, we've had Blackwood, we have DLC dungeons covering Argonians. I mean, I don't, you know what I mean? Dark Elves, Vardenfell. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I guess, okay, hold on. What else have we covered in terms of race? I guess Imperial in some sense, you know what I mean? They're war-torn, they're refugees and shit like that. High Elves were Somerset. Or Altmer was Somerset. Orsimer were Hrothgar, so they don't really need any more, in my opinion, anyway. Nords, we got plenty of Nords from Western Skyrim and all that shit. And so we got how many races left? We got Breton, we got Redguard, we got Bosmer. I think we need one more race. I'm forgetting one race for some reason. Qkiie. Okay, so we definitely had more than enough of Qkiie. Okay. I feel like we've had enough of Bosmer. I don't know why I feel like that. Maybe it's because of Evely and so I mean these are the only options at this point, right? Kind of. You got Breton, Redguard, or Bosmer. I feel like it's gonna be Redguard. I don't know why. I have a feeling it's gonna be Redguard. I think they're gonna go to fucking Hammerfell. It's gonna be Redguards or Bosmer. I don't know about Bretons. I feel like we got enough of Bretons in a sense because of other storylines and shit. And, you know, DLC dungeons. And I don't know, like... I think it's gonna be Redguard or Bosmer. I think it's gonna be Redguard. I think they're gonna go I think they're gonna go to Hammerfell. Because the Redguards are pretty interesting in my opinion. And, you know, they said one of the playable races, so... Fuck it. You know? But yeah, I'm glad they're backing off of that model. We will also, with the understanding that some of these things that are out of control, keep working on refreshing data center hardware as quickly as you can. This will result in a more stable platform experience for you all. And of course, we'll continue to work on performance and stability fixes and tweaks in every update. Okay. As I said above, we're prioritizing the wellness of our developers above everything else right now. So be flexible when needed. We've been operating at a very high level of efficiency and productivity these last 7 years since launch, but the overall health of the ZOS team is of paramount importance to us, and we'll proceed with our plans accordingly. I mean, they have a very rigorous content schedule, so maybe they're talking about taking a break from that too. We're still gonna have our usual high-quality quarterly content. Okay, so they won't back off that. And we'll continue to tell amazing stories, but we just may need to be a bit more selective with how we focus on our efforts. Our efforts this coming year. And of course, this is like, you know, stay healthy, thank you for everything, etc., etc. So I'm gonna read that. This is pretty interesting tidbit information. I think there's like two things going on here. Obviously, they're worried about their employees' mental and physical, you know, health, which is, I think, more than what we can say about fucking Activision Blizzard or some other companies. You know, like, but I think the second important takeaway from here is I think we'll start seeing a slow, maybe a slow adjustment to what kind of content we get, right? And also what kind of things we get from doing that content. I had this feeling because, you know, I was talking about this a while ago, on stream at least, not on a YouTube video, but I think they've dug themselves into this hole where with every kind of quarter patch, they need to give players what basically has become the model of, you know, new item sets. Cosmetics is, of course, is a given, which isn't all that too much even, honestly. They could do a lot better with cosmetics or rewards, base game rewards, and things you can actually earn in the game, apart from the crown store. But I think mainly the issue is it goes hand in hand with combat balancing. The more stuff you keep adding to the game, the harder it is to continue to balance, or even like reach this point where you are kind of not changing things every patch. Imagine like every patch, you know, as we have been doing every patch, finding, you know, the best item sets from that patch specifically. And I mean, I feel like a part of that contributes to how they balance things. So that's going to make things more of a headache, not just for them, but also for players. So, I don't know. Because if they keep adding more item sets, it's fucking... I don't know where it's going to end. It's a hole. It's a really difficult hole to get out of, I think. But... I don't know what they're thinking with the new kind of content here. I mean, they said we may need to be a bit more selective with how we focus our efforts. What does that even mean? Are they gonna... and they're still into quarterly content? Well, what does that mean? I don't get it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But that's it. Because there was nothing from the Game Awards, by the way, for ESO. Last year they had a chapter teaser in the Game Awards, but this year they didn't. But yeah, that'll be it.